Fill her up.
You're listening to the Gas Digital Network.
Conceive, believe, achieve. Shut the f*** up.
You're listening to Believe You Me with Michael the Count Bisping.
You know my name yet?
And Anthony Lionheart Smith.
Am I in the middle? He's in the middle. We're all in the middle and we are raring to go. Ladies and gentlemen, we're back with the Believe You Me podcast. And we apologize for missing a couple of shows recently. Last time I had a blazing headache. I couldn't bloody see. They call it an ocular migraine. So that's my fault. But and then we had crazy travel schedules. But who cares? We're back and we've got lots and lots and lots of things to discuss. Anthony Lionheart Smith, how the hell are you?
I'm good. I'm back in the with the bits and bobs for the day. I was supposed to be in Denver today, but I'm training at home for the day. I'll head to Denver tomorrow. The flights, the airports. I think countrywide it's a disaster. There was no way to get to Denver today.
The flights are getting cancelled like crazy all over the world. It's funny because we weren't planning on talking about this, but I saw a meme yesterday, or maybe it was last night, whatever. You're sitting there scrolling social media, and it said the cameraman risked his job to get this shot. And there's a woman there. She's like a representative from the airport or something, and she's saying, "Yeah, all the flights are back on track, and we're doing everything we can, and everything's under control, and all the rest of it." And she's bigging up the airline basically. And as she's doing that, the guy scrolls up to all the screens that give the information on the flights and the gates, and like almost every single one cancelled.
Yeah.
So
I heard a lot of people from Salt Lake City are hung up and were delayed. And
oh, really?
Yeah.
So you were there for the fights. I mean, the crowd looks incredible. It looked like it was packed for the first prelim.
It was. I got there. Chill and I got there like the second or third fight. And you would have thought the main event was going off in any other city. It was, and they stayed just like when Kamaru fought Leon. They were packed from the very beginning. I don't know how they had so much energy through the entire card. Salt Lake City is a special place when it comes to fights.
Yeah, well, I mean, to be fair, I don't think there's a lot going on at Salt Lake, right? I don't think so. Yeah. But saying that, because I'm not criticizing, tickets are expensive. You part ways with your hard-earned money, and certainly when they come to your city. You know, if I was a fan, I want to be there right from the start. I want to see all those fights. I want to make the most of it. Sometimes I have that in Vegas with Rebecca. She's like, I don't want to get there early because she's not a hardcore fan. You know what I mean? And in Vegas, it's only sometimes not until the co-main event before it really, really fills out, because Vegas, there's so much shit to do. But should we get into the fights? Should we talk about that ridiculous main event?
Yeah, I'm ready. I mean,
it seems like a good place to start. I mean, coming into that one, I'll just say this. I did a prediction video for the main card. I got every single prediction wrong. I'm assuming you gave predictions for ESPN. How did you do?
I did pretty good. I had the main event right. I had the co-main wrong. I had Derrick Lewis. I had Bobby Green. I had what was supposed to be Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, but I picked him. I did have Chiesa. That was a tough one.
Same. I thought Chiesa. Yeah, I mean, we'll get into all that.
Right.
Let's start with Justin Gaethje. Another fallout from that and what's coming next. I mean, the man gets better and better. You know what I mean? And I think he's always been violence personified. He's always brought it ever since he signed with the UFC and had that first fight with Michael Johnson. Right? He's always been value for money every single time. But sometimes he did it to his detriment. You know what I mean? He was very offensively minded, but not too much defensively minded. You know, and you got to have both. You got to have good defense, good head movement, step off on angles, hit and not get hit. And it seems like, I think, because the window of opportunity for being the champion is kind of closing, he's had to refine his style, working with Trevor Whitman, because against Fiziev, there was definitely a change. When was that? March. There was a change there. Beautiful boxing, but a little bit more measured, a little bit more controlled, in control of his footwork, as opposed to falling in just like a wild tornado. And I think that served him well against Poirier. I mean, obviously the leg kicks, they're always there. They were there in the first fight in 2018. So it's the oldest trick in the book. I mean, that's very simplified. Go low, go low, go low, go high.
Yeah.
That's essentially, in a very minimalistic terms, what he did. And it was beautiful.
It was beautiful, and it seemed like they just picked right back up, Mike, where they left off. They were swinging in the pocket. They were Dustin Poirier was pushing forward. I think Gaethje did make a couple little adjustments that were big deals. Then the first fight, he went his rear leg to the inside of Dustin Poirier's lead leg repeatedly. But the problem with that is when you throw the opposite kick to the opposite leg, it does kind of leave you stranded there in the middle for a counter straight down the pipe, which is essentially what Dustin Poirier did in that fourth round. Threw the straight right hand, and Gaethje was
he caught him
got
big.
Finished. Yeah, he hit him big. This fight, he went like a pendulum step outside lead leg kick. Which is
fancy terms, a pendulum
step.
step.
It was like a pendulum step. And so he was using his lead leg to kick the outside of Dustin Poirier's lead leg, which, because the way you have to kind of swing your body around, takes you right off the center line. So it takes that left-hand counter completely out of the way. And like you said, you go low, go low, go low, go high. It just set it up. And he went to it early in the first round, and it wasn't even close. So, this is one of those situations, though, you really got to feel for Dustin Poirier, because this is why the sport's so crazy. You can do everything right and still lose, because he's seen the kick, he covered, he got his hand up. It was just the way that it kind of wrapped around the back of his head. It's just like he got his hand up there. They both did everything right. It's just, one of those guys is offensive, and you feel for Dustin. I'm really happy for Gaethje, though.
Oh, of course. Both guys are class acts, both of them. But we talk about it in commentating, and, often people say it, even though you block a head kick, you still feel the impact. You know what I mean? You still feel the thud, the connection. It might even break your wrist or your arm. But when the foot and the shin goes around the back of the neck as well, even though he blocked it, he still felt it. But you got to give props to Gaethje, because that must have been some kick. You know what I'm saying? That it was fast. They did the replay, just the sound alone. Yeah. Oof, no man alive at lightweight division would have eaten that head kick. No man alive.
Did you see Dustin's tweet? I think it was today, because Herb Dean wasn't ready.
On the butt slide?
Yeah, when he it looked like he dropped the Rock's people elbow on him. And that's what Dustin tweeted. He was like, hey, damn, Herb Dean hit me with the people's elbow. He's got a great sense of humor about it.
Hey, listen, what are you going to do? He's been at the highest level for years and years and years. And as he knows, as you know, that's the way it goes. You know what I mean? Especially when you're up against someone skilled like that. So don't put crying yourself to sleep. The man's got plenty of money. He's having a ridiculously successful career. And in sporting endeavors, whether it's individual, solo, or team, whatever it is, one side wins, one side loses. It just sucks in MMA or boxing or combat sports that a lot of the time when you lose, it's painful. Do you know what I mean? But Herb Dean, he was like lightning there, man. He shot in fair play. I don't think Justin would have followed it up with unnecessary shots, but you never know. Have you ever gone in for the unnecessary fatality blows?
Every chance I get.
On an unconscious opponent.
Yeah, every chance I get. Every chance I get. It's actually the one thing I feel real bad about with Rashad. And it's not always on purpose, though. It's not always on purpose. It's not a malicious, he's out, I'm going to get another one. It's I hate
Rashad.
It's kind of fear. It's kind of fear. A little bit of it is fear. Okay, he's hurt. I need to hurry up and finish this as fast as I can, because you're afraid that they're going to recover. So it does come off very malicious, but it's really just trying to make sure that they don't wake up before the referee gets there.
People always ask me, Dan Henderson, UFC 100, when I was unconscious from the first blow, people are like, oh, he was out of line doing that. And I'm like, no, he wasn't. It is what it is. This is what you sign up for. Do you know what I mean? And you keep going until the referee drags you off. So well done, Justin Gaethje. Incredible, class act. He got asked about Conor McGregor. Conor McGregor was tweeting him and talking shit like he always does. And look, listen, he does a good job of keeping himself very relevant, even though he hasn't fought in quite some time. Justin shot it down big time. And I agree with him. I think he said that Conor's turned me down 6 times. Now it feels nice to be the one doing the turning down.
Do you think that's legitimate? Or do you think that's like a negotiation playing a game?
No, I don't. Think so? I think that's legitimate. I think because he spoke about it last year or earlier this year. He wants to be the champ and he wants to defend the belt a few times and then retire. And getting sidetracked with the fight with Conor McGregor that allows the title conversation to continue elsewhere. And if he wins or beats Islam Makhachev or Charles Oliveira, regardless who the champ is after Abu Dhabi happens, then he'll get those big paydays anyway. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and Conor, he might be able to fight Conor McGregor as champion or whoever it is, and you'll still get big paydays,
nice.
which will be pretty nice. Red panty nights everywhere. But, you want to focus on the legacy and then let the money follow afterwards, if possible. So, yeah, I agree with him. So, obviously, Justin Gaethje next is going to be a title fight, right? You would have thought.
Yeah. The only wrinkle there would be what Volkanovski wants to do. But a performance like that, a showing like that, it's going to be tough to bring in a guy that's already lost to the champion at 155. If it is Islam, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough to leapfrog Justin Gaethje right now.
Without question, he's clearly cemented himself as the number one contender.
Mm-hmm.
Number one contender without a shadow of a doubt. And Dustin Poirier, I mean, it's back to the drawing board, isn't it? I guess. I mean, he doesn't drop down too far significantly in the rankings. No. It is what it is. He's still a big star. He's still only 34 years old. Got a few more years. You never know. He can still come back and become a champion one day. And what a story that would be.
Well, and with him being who he is and what he's done, it wouldn't take much to get him back to a title fight. It would 1, maybe 2, puts him right back in title. Yeah, puts him right back in title contention.
Tops, you know what I mean?
Yeah, tops.
Well,
he's not far
when
away.
you lose to someone like that, one of the top dogs, as I just said, I don't know who was higher ranked, Justin or Dustin. They're probably very, very close.
Poirier was 2.
Poirier. Oh, right, so he probably switches to 3 with Gaethje.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, so it goes. It's the same shit. It's Oliveira, Gaethje,
three
Dustin.
in the world. Yeah, it's
Oliveira,
Gaethje,
Dustin. Fucking mix them around, move them around. It's the same 3 guys at the top.
It's the same old shit over and over because they're the best guys.
Because they're the best guys. Yeah.
All these people out there bitching, I'm sick of this. The top 5 guys keep fighting each other. I get it, but that's because they're the best guys.
Yeah.
And they want to, and they're the most exciting guys as well. Let's be honest. My God. Co-main event.
Oh shit.
Whoa.
I got to get this story. It has nothing to do with fights. Has nothing to do with fights.
I like to break up the fight talk with a little bit of bullshit.
I had so last night, my wife and I fell asleep on the chairs in the living room. We had these 2 big chairs, right? I was exhausted from the travel. I was just tired from the weekend, and I just fell asleep. I wake up at like 4:25 this morning, and she's like waking me up, like, "Hey, let's go upstairs, get in bed so you can get some good sleep." And we've been having these car burglars in the neighborhoods, like they're kind of making their way out around these nicer areas in Omaha, and they're like checking doors and stealing shit out of cars. And so I went to the front door to my keys, like, I'll double check. I know that I locked it, but I'll double check. I go to lock the door, and I just happened to I'm barely awake, and I clicked the button for my truck, and I didn't hear it lock. So I clicked it again and went to look to see if the lights flashed, and there's a car creeping by in front of my house, like really slow. Well, I live on a dead end street, so they have to come back down. So I was like, that's weird. I'm going to stand here and I'm going to see what's going on. And then they go to the end of the street, turn around, and they creep back by, like looking around, like they're looking for shit. So I I'm pondering what I do. Like, I'm just going to go get I'm going to go get my shoes, grab my keys. I'm going to see what they're doing. So I
get your gun.
I always have a gun.
He's like, I didn't need to get.
I didn't need to get the gun.
I've got the gun.
Yeah. So I jump in the truck, and I'm just like, and then it starts storming. It's like big thunderstorms. And I'm like driving around, and I just I'll just take a loop around the block, and then I look down the street, and I see a car parked on the side of the road, like on another dead end street. So I know everybody lives on that street. So I was like, that's weird. So I go around. It's a dead end, but it's like a loop. So you can get in 2 different ways. It's a weird loop. So I go on the other side, and there they are. It's the same car that just went down my street, and there's 2 guys that have just gotten out of it, and they're all black, hoodies up, medical masks on, and they're creeping up towards the house with an open garage door. Motherfuckers. So I pulled in that driveway with the garage doors open, turned around, they run back to their car, and then they're like trying to get away. So I'm following them through the through the neighborhood. I have no intention of doing anything, but at least they knew that I was paying attention, you know. And I got a bunch of cop friends, you know. So I tell them about it today. I'm like, dude, these idiots. He was like, what was the plate number? And so I gave him the number.
Did you get the plate?
I got the plate. I was right behind him. I was tailgating him. If he'd have brake checked me, I'd have rear-ended him. I was just all up on the back of his car. So anyways, long story short, I'm telling my friend about it, and he was like, hold on a second. He calls me back. They've been tracking this car all over Omaha, like the entire city. He was like, that guy, they've been in every neighborhood in Omaha stealing shit out of people's cars. Crazy. That was just, it really ends with a nothing. It ends with a nothing there. Because
I'm sitting there waiting. I'm like, come on. What happened?
Well, as soon as they got to we're going down this hill, he just floored it to a stop sign, busted a left, and they got out of the neighborhood as quick as they could. But
another episode of Vigilante Diaries with Anthony Smith. Good job, man. Good job. Out there patrolling the communities, getting ready to fight in Singapore.
Well, then I look like an idiot.
Salt Lake City.
Now I'm
doing the Believe You Me podcast.
I was gonna follow him, but I was like, he's leaving the neighborhood, and I'm like, I have no shirt on. I'm wearing flip-flops.
Which could be defined as essentially you're chasing him with a gun.
It could be. Yeah, it could be. Yeah. So I was like, yeah, we probably just go home.
Yeah.
Before I get myself in trouble.
They went to the wrong house. You know what I mean? They were trying to pick something up. You know.
No, they were definitely robbing.
No,
people,
I know. Well, good for you. Well done. Yeah. That's it.
I don't
know.
Are you
going to be celebrated in the neighborhood for fighting off dastardly thieves?
Well, no. The rest of the neighborhood wants me to. There's a rogue mountain lion that's been going around.
Oh my God. God. You're going to go track the mountain lion?
No, because you get a lot of trouble for that. They're protected.
Yeah.
But if it was at my house, I would definitely thump that thing with a crossbow and no one would ever know about it.
I mean, people might say that we're in their territory, so therefore we can't be mad. It's like, listen, bro, I don't give a shit. I got kids in the swimming pool.
Right,
Keep it away. You know what I mean?
2 idiot French bulldogs that I don't need to be lion food. He's big too. It's like but he's huge.
They'll stay away. All right, guys, I want to tell you about a new sponsor. And let me tell you, we love this in the Bisping house. We are talking about Kachava. What is Kachava? Let me tell you, it is an all-in-one plant-based super blend made up of superfoods, greens, plants, proteins, antioxidants, adaptogens, probiotics, basically everything that your body needs. And it's delicious. And you just put a little scoop with a little bit of water in the blender, off you pop, right? Ellie loves it. Rebecca loves it. I love it. It tastes brilliant, right? Normally something like that's, sounds so healthy and all the rest of it doesn't sound like it'll be very tasty. It is lovely. And it comes in chocolate, vanilla, chai, matcha, and coconut acai. Now, listen, some people like to drink this as part of a healthy breakfast or lunch. And others, well, they love it because it is a protein-packed snack, which you can have before or after a workout. And it's perfect for this because it has 25 grams of plant protein per serving. As I say, very, very convenient. It tastes great and it's so good for you, right? It's got the probiotics. Most of the time, you're going to take a single supplement for that. It's got the protein that you need. A lot of the time, you're just going to take a protein shake, antioxidants, superfoods, greens. It is everything that you need put into one. So it's one of these superior fitness protein shakes that you should have in your life. Trust me, you will not regret it. You will absolutely love it. And right now, Kachava is offering our listeners 10% off for a limited time. All you got to do is go to Kachava, Kachava.com. Kachava.com. Promo code is BELIEVE and you will get 10% off. Kachava.com/believe. That's where you got to go. Kachava.com/believe. Get 10% off your first order. Trust me, this is so good for you and it is absolutely delicious. I've been watching this show called Alone. Have you seen that? It's where a bunch of guys and girls, they take 10 people. You should watch it. They got every season on Hulu. It's really, really good. It's right up your street. And there's one called Alone Frozen. So it's way up in Labrador, North Canada. It's basically pretty much the Arctic. Right. And 10 people, they're allowed 10 things each, and they just drop them in nowhere near each other, and they've got to survive. They have nothing other than the 10 things that they bring, and they have to survive.
For how long?
Well, typically it's survive as long as you can, and the winner who survives the longest gets $500,000. But on the frozen one, because obviously it's cold, it's 50 days, and if it's a couple 50 days.
That's a long time.
That's a long ass time, and it is freezing cold, right? But you made me think, you're out there trying to trek the mountain line. There's this one dude on there, and I'll be honest, the women on it are brilliant, right? There's this one woman, she's made a house. She's made like a fireplace out of rocks and stuff like that. She made a chimney. She's out catching hares and pheasants and bloody grouse and all sorts. She's got food stacked up. She's got firewood stocked up. Then there's this other dude called Amos who's thick as fuck. He's got like this tarp over a bit of a tree. He's just blowing everywhere. And he's just obsessed with catching a bear. Do you know what I mean? And he's like,
typical guy.
I need to catch a bear. If I catch a bear, then I'm sorted for food the entire time. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. It's like lower your expectations, buddy. Number one, the bear's going to fuck you up. Okay. For sure. The women are catching fish. They're catching fucking hares.
So you got a full-on fireplace and a freezer and food stacked up for months.
He's like, it's freezing cold. They've built a fucking house. This asshole's, I'm going to catch a bear. It's like, that's the testosterone. I want the biggest, baddest, most dangerous animal. Check it out, man. Alone,
I'm gonna have to check that out. Yeah, I won't be tracking this mountain lion. Actually, people usually use dogs to track mountain lions because they're so hard to track. Right. Yeah, so I will not.
Rhodesian Ridgebacks.
What the fuck is that? A dog?
You don't know what a Rhodesian Ridgeback is?
No.
They were bred for hunting lions.
Really?
I swear to God. Bring them a Rhodesian Ridgeback, Brian. Yeah, they're big-ass dogs. They're great dogs. I saw a bit from a comedian. I forget who it was. He goes, could you imagine, like, when they were inventing dogs? They're like, okay, you're a, I don't know, Rhodesian Ridgeback. Yeah, they're not the biggest dogs, but they're big enough. They're big enough, but they're aggressive, and they're fast as hell, and they hunt them in packs. Yeah.
No kidding.
Yeah, and
I always feel bad. Like, watching animals hunt dogs, or, like, helping. Even when I'm not a big like bird hunter, but I got some friends that are big pheasant hunters, and I just always feel bad for the dogs. Like, where you see these videos of these guys that get these pit bulls or these huge.
How many pheasants could a pheasant plucker pluck?
Could a pheasant plucker?
How many pheasants could a pheasant plucker pluck? Anyway, whatever. Childish.
Well, you see, like people use Great Danes and pit bulls to hunt hogs, and they're just like, I don't know. I just feel bad. Like, I seen a video the other day.
Oh, no, the dogs are having a whale of a time. They are absolutely loving it.
But I mean, probably. They're
happier than sitting there in a house, bored out of their mind, just dying to go for a walk.
Right, just dying to go do something. I seen a video the other day of
pit bulls.
Yeah, I bet pit bulls probably love the shit out of that. Just like, I got one.
Rottweilers,
right?
Doberman, whatever.
Maybe I feel bad for the hog too. I'd just rather shoot it if I was going to hunt it instead of having it.
Yeah, I'd feel bad for the hog. Not
just
the
shoot
massive
the fucking thing. Like, why are we dragging
gang of Rottweilers? We're going to tear it apart. I feel for them dogs. No, they're happy, bro.
I do feel bad for the animals too. Anyways, sorry to get us off track.
No, that was good. I enjoyed that little conversation there. Let's talk about that co-main event, because Jan Błachowicz feels like it was a robbery. He came on the podcast. He said he was not going to use any wrestling. Jan Błachowicz, you're full of shit. But I get it. You're a liar. I get it. You don't want to tell the world what your game plan is. Although we knew what the game plan was going to be. Let's be honest. That takedown attempt at the start, though, was a pretty crappy entry, right? But he made it work. He got him down. Doesn't matter how you start. He got him down. Tried for the rear naked choke. Everyone here would have seen the fight. There's no point going through it. Round one was Jan's. How did you score it? I mean, round two, he got him down again. Pereira got up kind of quicker. Round three, did he get it down in round three? Just remind me.
He did at the end of the round.
Yeah. Near the end. But it was pretty even. I know Pereira was way ahead in terms of strikes landed. From my perspective, it looked like Jan was landing the heavier shots. Now, I know there was a lot of leg kicks, and those calf kicks fucking hurt. And there's a lot of jabs to the body from Pereira. But before I pass the baton, I'll say, and I say this with respect because I'm a massive fan of Jan, and Alex, as we know, is a tremendous, tremendous striker and getting better at the grappling all the time. I didn't think it was a particularly impressive showing from either man. Now, whether that was the extra weight from Pereira You know, listen, we said about Jon Jones. How's he going to look at 265? You know, in the later rounds, we still don't know. Pereira, I don't know if it was because he was carrying extra weight and he was slower. I don't know if it was because of the altitude, but he didn't look nowhere near as crispy on the feet. It didn't look like the power at 205 transferred either, because Jan ate them for breakfast for the most part. But what was your take?
Very similar to yours. And again, I got a lot of respect for both guys. So anybody that hears this, they're going to clip it and I'm talking shit. They're always going to say that. But I really care if Jan and Alex hear this. This is not me being disrespectful. I'm just giving my honest analysis as an analyst. I thought I was disappointed in Błachowicz's conditioning. I sat right there cage side. He was totally gassed after the first round completely. The fact that he made it through the third round is impressive, and I think speaks to his kind of heart and determination and just will, because he willed himself through 2 rounds. I didn't like the way that he could have done a better job at attacking the choke in the first. I thought that maybe, and it could be again because he was getting tired, and sometimes when you start to get tired, you start to panic. You don't use your brain as much. If I was him, I would have went away from the body triangle, because again, I'm going to get really deep into the weeds here, but because I'm a back take guy, that's kind of my spot. I do often go to the body triangle, but it depends on the position that you're in. If you have the guy on top of you and your back is on the mat, body triangle all day long is exactly where you want to be. If you end up against the cage and they're kind of face down or they're kind of turning, what ends up happening is you get a guy that's so powerful and so strong that the body triangle is more taxing on you and your legs than it is on him. He was using the fence and kind of the octagon, the way that they were positioned, to take a lot of the pressure off of his stomach, and he wasn't working that hard. He was just kind of hand fighting the whole time. Well, Jan's holding his own body up, still holding on to the body triangle, and has a lot of pressure on his legs. So
just on that point, so we don't have to go back to it. I'm not interrupting, guys. You're absolutely right. I guess if Jan was here, I guess his argument would be that whilst the body triangle is taxing on yourself and it does tire the legs out, it is a really good way though of managing to maintain that position. You know what I mean? Because if you have the hooks on and you're kind of on the backpacking them and they kind of lean over, you're going to fall off the top, as you know. Right. But with the body triangle, you can still maintain that position.
It does. You keep the position, but it depends on where your conditioning is. It depends on you're weighing risk to reward. I feel like he could have managed more energy, maybe more efficiently, if he would have switched to a regular back take with just both hooks in. And I think he would have had a better opportunity at finishing, because when you have the body triangle, Alex still has the ability to pull his knees up and get up a little bit, so he's not completely flat belly down, because your legs are around the belly, and it's doing nothing at all to control the legs of your opponent. If you go both hooks in, then you can extend your body and you can stretch his legs, and then he's completely flat on his stomach, legs up in the air a little bit. Now you can start attacking the choke. So again, it's a risk to reward. It depends on body styles a little bit too. Like maybe Jan's his leg, he does seem to have a little bit shorter legs than some of the guys in the division. So
Whoa! So his conditioning was terrible, and now he's got short legs.
Well, yeah.
He does. What else is wrong with him?
Well, if you look at Alex, his legs are a mile long, like mine. So it's who knows? Again, I'm critiquing him really deeply right now, so that's why I don't want to. Keep going, brother. I don't want to.
Can't wait for him to be a guest on the show again. My God,
I'm being respectful. I think he would. I think he would agree.
I know. No, Jan's awesome.
So he spent 4 minutes on the back, which some people could have judged that a 10-8. I probably would have given him a 10-8 for that round.
Yeah,
I think, in my opinion,
under the criteria, it should have been.
It should have been. So I think that the third round, in my opinion, I thought he won. But I do think that most of the judges probably would have given it to Pereira. But that's because of that's the visuals. I think he outstruck him, I believe, in the third round. I think surely through the first 2 or 3 minutes, he was landing the better shots. Fucking stupid. It threw me off. But he looked exhausted. Like, he's landing shots. He gets a takedown, but he looks like visibly like he's losing the fight because he's so tired. So he was backing up the whole time. I just think the visuals didn't do him any justice. Not that we are supposed to judge fights on the visuals, but in my opinion, I think Jan won the first and the third. I would argue that he won the first to 10-8, and you could have given Pereira the third, which would have made it a draw. So,
yeah, look, listen, and just real quick for anyone sitting there thinking that we're out of our minds on the 10-8 thing, if you read the criteria, a 10-9, a 10-8 used to be you had to almost murder the guy, you know, but now 10-9 is a close round where you got the better of it. That's a 10-9. A 10-8 is where you can watch that and see that guy clearly wins the round. That's how you define it. Don't argue with us. That's the definition.
We don't make the rules.
Trust me, that's how you define a 10-8. So,
well, I think both of us are kind of old school.
That was a 10-8.
I think both of us are old school. I would never have scored that a 10-8. I think when you're
if you follow the criteria, you should do.
Yeah, but I mean, the way that we kind of came up in the game, like you said, you used to almost have to kill somebody, like Frankie Edgar, Gray Maynard type of rounds to even think about a 10-8. But the way that the judges are supposed to score these fights, the way the criteria is, I watched that and said, if we're following the rules, that's a 10-8.
So regardless of what we think and however people scored it, it was given to Pereira. And I'll be honest, I was a little... I was up in Big Bear Lake, California at the weekend, went up with some friends and just hung out at a lake house and a bit of fishing, a bit of boating, barbecue, and it was nice. And we're all watching there, we're watching the fights, and everyone's asking me, so who wins, mate? Who's going to get the hand raised? I said, I think Jan. I think Jan gets it. And now, of course, Alex gets the hand raised. But I wasn't shocked because it was a close fight. And I know Jan's out there saying it was a robbery. And I understand him saying that because you're emotionally and more importantly, physically invested, literally, and it's your career. And there's big consequences with a win or a loss. But it wasn't a robbery. It was a close fight, and depending on which lens you're looking at it, Pereira landed more shots. Jan landed with more damage. Jan got the takedowns as well, though. I mean, it's one of those fights. It just is.
I expected more. And maybe that's just me. I think that they both fought their asses off. Those are really gritty performances that both of those guys had to put in. They kind of had to push through. We do miss a little bit with it never gets talked about. The altitude in Salt Lake City. No one ever talks about it before. And thank God Derrick Lewis got a quick finish.
As I say, I was just at Big Bear, and from the house down to like the little boat we were on, it was only a pontoon boat, nothing fancy, ladies and gentlemen. There was quite a lot of steps. Do you know what I mean? And I was getting out of breath. And that's at 7,000 feet, and I was like, whew, on the first day. But I'll say this though as well. I will say this: people that go and fight at altitude, if they don't go in time for their body to adjust, that's kind of on them.
It is.
You know what I mean? Of course, there's a reason for gassing. There is, but they know that going into it. When they get the bout agreement, it says the location. If you know what you're talking about, or you do a little bit of research, it's at altitude. So you got to go at least 2 weeks before, which I think Jan did, to be fair.
Yeah.
So,
It is what it is. Tough fight for both guys. They did a great job.
Yuri Prohaska was on the MMA Hour today. I'm just reading out what he said. He said, it's not confirmed yet from the UFC, but my next fight will be for the title. Excuse me, I'm burping. I think Pereira is a very good chance for us to show the world a good title fight. I'd like to see him as my opponent next. I mean, listen, it makes sense. That was kind of the narrative going into this one. I also saw an MMA Fighting's rankings. They have Jamal Hill at like 5 or 4, which is you are aware that he just vacated the belt,
right?
He was the champion up until
at worst he's 2.
At worst he's 1 or 2. Yuri Prohaska, Alex Pereira. I think fan-friendly matchup that one is though. I don't think either guy. You never know. Maybe Yuri, but he's not really a wrestler. He's just to stand there and fight like a goddamn maniac. Yeah. How do you see that going down?
I don't know. I didn't expect Alex to fight the way that he fought, so I don't know shit about shit right now. Is how I feel, because that's not what I expected. That's not how I expected.
It's not how you expected the fight. The what?
I didn't expect Alex to. I expected more. I don't want to say more or less. I expected different. But I think he realized there was a lot of shock and awe when it comes to going to 205. And I know that a couple of us have come up and done an okay job. I would like to put myself into that. I think that Rockhold came in and left right away, and Izzy came in and it just wasn't for him. And, we've had guys come in and go, and it's just not what it seems, but he's impressive at 185. And so when people would say like, oh my God, how would you deal with the power of Pereira? Like, same way I deal with the power of everyone else at 205. Like, because I don't think that he's any more, like, if we're talking just pure power, I don't think he's any more powerful than Błachowicz. I don't think he's any more powerful than a guy like Johnny Walker, even if he gets one clean on you. Or
I don't think he's anywhere. No, he's not as explosive.
You know what I mean? Or Span,
Johnny Walker.
Like, and I'm not just saying this because those are guys that I fought. It's just guys that I've been in there with and dealt with. I think Ankalaev hits pretty damn hard. I think that a lot of guys in the division hit hard. He didn't look. He's big, but it's because we always are comparing him as a middleweight. They wanted to talk on ESPN like, oh my God, he weighs 228 pounds.
28.
It's like, yeah, him and everybody else. Johnny Walker walks in.
No, of course.
North
exactly.
He's heavy, like high 230s. You got Rakic, who right now is in the 250s. You know what I mean? He shows up fight night in the high 230s. Like, he's average.
I think.
And I'm not saying his skill set, like his size and his power, he's an average guy at 205.
I think people think when they change a weight class. I mean, listen, with Pereira, he was gigantic at 185, so it kind of makes sense. But that doesn't mean he's automatically going to be a monster at 205. Right. I think we saw Jan wasn't bothered by the power at all, So there's that. So I think he fits nicely.
We've seen Thiago Santos hurt Jan really bad. Yeah. We've seen Glover knock Jan out. We've seen him take big shots and react to them from other 205ers. I see more reaction from him just being tired. I didn't see the deer in headlights look when he got punched, and he took a couple.
It's like when I came down from 205 to 185. I thought, oh, here we go. I'm going to be fighting little midgets now. You know what I mean? Not a PC term, whatever. Get over it, okay? Relax. I asked my mate Mick. He said it all depends on the intention. Mick's a little guy. I said, does it bother if someone calls you a midget? He said, it depends. Well, it depends how they say it. If they just say it nicely, then no. But if they say, oh, yeah, fucking little midget, then obviously that offends me. So it's in the intention, guys. No, but I thought I was going to be fighting loads of small guys. You know what I mean? You used to be 185. You know what I mean? I'd have gone down. I'm like, I remember my first one. I think it was Jason Day, and I was looking up at him. I'm like, what the hell? What's all this about? So changing weight classes isn't this career saver that people think. On Johnny Walker, did I just see this morning? He's just had a fight booking.
Yeah, he's fighting Ankalaev in Abu Dhabi.
Ankalaev. Tough stylistic matchup.
It is.
What do you think of that?
If Johnny can, if he can do similar to how he did with me, just be very smart. Like, don't engage in the bullshit. He didn't. I think that's the best Johnny Walker we're going to see is the one that won't engage because he's not the cleanest boxer in the world. He does tend to get crazy and wild, and he did a good job of like really staying on a leash during my fight with him. Ankalaev's going to be more of a wrestler, I would imagine, in this fight.
Of course.
If my no wrestling ass can get a takedown on Johnny Walker, I would suspect that Ankalaev will also be able to. But who knows? He's got a lot of time to work on it still.
We're going to go through all the fights because we've got lots of great storylines to talk about. We're going to break things up, though. We're going to sprinkle in a little bit of this and a little bit of that. Anthony, let me ask you a question. I'm assuming you're a homeowner and you've sold a house before and potentially used a realtor at some point.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
What would your reaction be if you saw that the realtor was in your house, opened the fridge, and had a sip of milk?
Out of the jug?
Yeah. I don't know if it was in the jug or what.
I'd kick my own children's ass for doing that.
Well, Harrington, the floor is yours because he put this in the notes. I haven't seen this, but apparently we're looking at some ring footage here where a realtor is in someone's house.
You disgusting. He is right out of the jug, you piece of shit.
So, hold on, when you say the jug, you mean the carton or?
Yeah.
Just not using a glass?
Yeah, I mean, I probably wouldn't care so much if they just grabbed a glass, but you can't just drink it out of the container straight out of the fridge.
Now, let me ask you this before we get to the story. Do you do that at home? Because I do at home, and Rebecca goes crazy at me.
When nobody's looking, I do, because I yell at everyone else for doing it.
Yeah. Harrington, come to the show, brother. Give us the lowdown.
So this guy, he's a real estate agent. As you said, the people are selling a house. He was supposed to be meeting people there. So he said that he got like so dehydrated, it was so hot. He opened the fridge looking for water, and when he couldn't find any, he just grabbed the milk. Milk was a bad choice, and just took a swig. Because it was caught on that Ring video, Ring video camera there, the homeowners brought it to a board, and he was fined $20,000 by real estate agents, by the people he works for.
Hold on. So the
man.
real estate agency that he works for, they decided to fine him $20,000, or was it some kind of governing body for realtors?
Yeah, I think it was the licensing agency. It wasn't very clear, but it did say in the article that he was slapped with a $20,000 fine for a swig of milk.
That seems a little steep.
Seems a little extreme. I mean, I'm sure there's some code in there in the realtor's code of conduct that you mustn't do that. But 20 grand for having a sip of milk, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, I'd probably just be happy with an apology, a public shaming, and a new jug of milk.
I wouldn't care less. I would not give a shit. I'm like, let the man have a sip. He's trying to sell a house for us.
Yeah, but but you would have not known he was going to put the lid back on, backwashing that shit, and put it back in your fridge, and then you drink it later?
Listen, what we don't know doesn't hurt us.
That's gross.
You know what I mean?
That's why I don't let my kids do it. It's not that I care that they're drinking out of the container. It's that I know that they're little disgusting little freaks are backwashing back into my milk.
Well, not if you drink properly. I mean, you should have gone.
But listen, these kids have no sense. They got no brains in them, any of them.
20 grand though. 20 grand.
That's a little bit. That's excessive.
I mean, realtors. I mean, milk. They rip you off, man. It's a rip off, because I think you have to pay fees on both sides right out here, if I'm not mistaken, right? Yeah. To the buyer's realtor and the seller's realtor. Is that correct?
Yeah. I think you can negotiate. Like when I bought this house, I knew the owner before. So we just used one agent, and he just took one set of fees. Yeah. Because otherwise, I would have got a real estate agent, and then would have to split the fees.
Yeah. Because I tell you what, living in the UK and now coming out here, and I've only bought a house one time. That's why I can't remember, and it was 12 years ago. So a little shaky on the facts. But there's a big difference, man. There is a big difference in the realtors, because out here, you guys get I forget what it is, multiple percentage points, right, for selling the house, or that can be very lucrative. In the UK, I mean, I'm sure whoever owns the business gets a little bit of commish, but the actual agents themselves get nothing. And they do not, I mean, they just get a salary. Do you know what I mean? No one gives a shit. When you're trying to sell a house in England, oh my God, unless you get some fancy pants firm out of London and you're selling a massive penthouse in Kensington or whatever, no one gives a fuck, right? Trying to sell a house in England, they are shit.
Yeah, because they don't care.
Such a difference.
Like, buy it, don't buy it, we don't give a fuck.
Yeah. No, because I had this house I was trying to sell, and I popped over there, and they said, yeah, we're getting no one looking at it. I went over, the grass was like shoulder high, right? There was just shit everywhere in the house. There was just like mail that had been going there for years, just all over the floors. There was like an empty can of Pepsi on the floor. There was just shit everywhere. Do you know what I mean? I'm like, right, hold on. First of all, if I walked in here, I wouldn't want to buy it. Spent a day cleaning it up, getting the garden, the lawn mowed, power wash the flags, all the rest of it. Put it back on the market. We give it a little lick of paint as well. Put it back on the market first morning. Within an hour, sold. Fucking dickheads.
Fucking assholes. That sucks. How long was it on there before? Just because I'm curious.
Oh yeah, for about 9 months.
Oh wow.
Yeah, no, but it was bad. It was bad. All right, let's talk about Shopify, which is the commerce platform revolutionizing millions of businesses worldwide. And why is that? Well, it allows you to take your business online, quick, easy, cheap, affordable, non-complicated. Straight away, you will have a website, you will have an e-commerce platform attached to your business, which accepts every kind of major payment method. And thanks to the 24/7 customer services and help, always support there for you. They have an extensive business course library as well. Shopify are there to support you. Shopify covers every sales channel imaginable. We're talking POS system to an all-in-one e-commerce platform. It also, whatever your product is, you will be able to sell it across social media marketplaces like TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. Okay, it's packed with leading tools ready to ignite your growth. Basically, as I said before, let's all the buzzwords. Shopify gives you complete control of your business and all the rest of it. Let's cut all that out. If you have a business and you want to get online, then you want to do it through Shopify because it's quick, it's easy, it's cheap, it's not complicated. And with our offer, it is so affordable, okay? If you're serious about what you do, you need to have a presence online. It's as simple as that. So now it's your turn to get serious about selling and try Shopify today. Because, as I said, it's so easy. All you got to do is sign up for $1 per month for a trial period at shopify.com/believe. $1 a month trial period, okay? You're going to be blown away. It's quick, easy, more importantly, very, very effective. Shopify.com/believe. If you want to take your business to the next level today, then go to shopify.com/believe for a $1 per month trial period. Anyway, should we get back into the fights? The fight before that, Derrick Lewis with, I won't say a career-saving performance, but in some kind of ways, a career-saving performance. Also, I wasn't aware of the fact that that was the final fight on his contract, so he was doubling down on himself, because you'd lose.
Mike, I'm not sure that it was him not signing.
What do you mean?
The rumblings weren't that it wasn't Derrick not signing his contract.
Oh, he wasn't being offered one?
I think they were fighting it out. I think they were just going to see what happened, is what it sounds like. I don't know that for a fact. But that's the rumor on the streets, that if Derrick had another performance where he was going to lay down and kind of have performances like he'd been having, that I don't think interested.
I don't think he'd laid down. I think he was put down.
I mean, I would say this to Derrick.
You will go to sleep, or I will put you to sleep.
I don't know. I would say this to Derrick. It seemed like he was less interested, in some of those fights that he was. I don't know. You can kind of tell. It seems like
hold on. To be fair, Sergey Pavlovich, he didn't have a choice in that. They engaged.
No, he didn't have a choice there. I'll give you that one.
Who else?
Tai Tuivasa.
Tai Tuivasa. He was murdering Tai until Tai got up and elbowed him.
Yeah,
and you're being a little hard on the Lewis.
He backs himself. We all know what happens. Derrick included when he starts backing himself to the cage. That's making a choice to put yourself in a bad position. He seemed a little bit distracted, and I was very happy with the way he was in interviews, the way that his body language and his presence kind of can tell you where Derrick Lewis is. And he seemed like he was in a really, really good spot going into Saturday night, and he just seemed to be different. He's back with his old coach, I seen, because he was training with in another spot in Houston, and he wasn't with Bob. I don't remember Bob's last name.
Yeah. But hold on. I've got to defend Lewis here. Listen, I don't
think he needs defending.
Four out of 5 he lost. Right, terrible form, and I'm from what I hear, I think he's on a fair penny as well. So it's like if you're paying someone premium money and they're getting finished 4 out of 5, then yeah, maybe. But let's focus on the positives, because Saturday night was brilliant. I mean, talk about harnessing the energy of the original BMF. Jorge Masvidal runs at the guy, flying knee, and that was it. All right, there was plenty of follow-up shots, and I think Rogerio de Lima showed a lot of heart, trying to get back to his feet. But that was it. Here we go. Let's have a look at this. Boom. Oh, I mean, he's a big fella.
You could
fair play
feel
to De Lima.
You could feel it land too. I was sitting right there. It shook the whole cage.
To the mush. Brilliant. And then the post-fight celebration, ripping the shorts off, giving the dance. I mean, the thing on the octagon floor where he does. What is that? let's have a look. There it is.
And he had a six-pack.
Oh my God. Oh my goodness.
Look at this guy.
Amazing. Yeah, he had a
Brilliant.
six-pack at weigh-ins. Still had a little bit of it at the beginning of the fight, too.
Well. Listen, let's steady on the six-pack talk. He had a pack.
He had abs.
He had abs poking through.
How much work do you think he had to add in, or how much difference of a training camp did he have to have? Did he have to end up with abs?
Well, I think he said that he just stopped drinking root beer and started drinking water instead. And there, for anyone listening, trying to lose weight and can't figure out why, if you're drinking tons of soda every day, fizzy drinks, carbonated drinks, fruity, sugary drinks, don't do it. Don't do it. And if I don't know how much root beer we're talking here. He looks like a man that likes a lot of root beer, right? He looks like a man that could consume a lot of whatever he wanted to consume. You switch that. I mean, how many calories are in a can of root beer? A lot.
A lot.
Brian, just look that up. Look that up. It'll be a lot. So he's went to 0 calorie water. Now he's got the pack showing through.
10 calorie monster.
Nah, well, it's not good for you, that stuff. It is not good for you.
It's not.
Keeps me awake on the drive home from Vegas, though.
Yeah. 152 calories in a root beer.
That's not as bad as what I thought it was going to be.
Well, if you drink 12 of them a day.
If you drink 10 of them, that's 1,520 calories.
Yeah. It's a lot of
shit calories. Straight to the waistline.
Straight to the belly.
What's your weight at these days?
About 220. Right about 220.
Don't get too light.
I know.
You got a little light last time.
I was a little light.
Carb up, bro. Get on the root beer. What the fuck's your problem?
Get back on. Look, these goddamn monsters ain't got.
That's a sugar free.
See, I got to get on regular.
All right. Well, listen, I'm very, very happy for Derrick Lewis because he's always been a fan favorite. He has.
I was happy to see the win.
And when he delivers on the microphone as well. Saturday night was fantastic. As I say, I was with a group of friends, lit the place up. I can only imagine what the atmosphere was like in Salt Lake City. Do you know what I mean? Everyone's having a party. They're celebrating. It's brilliant. It's kind of like Tate Avasa as well. He kind of has that similar effect. You know what I mean? So absolutely fantastic. Now, I did a little review of the main card on my YouTube channel. And when I was doing it, I was out by the lake and I was burning with sun. And I totally forgot to talk about Bobby Green and Tony Ferguson. And there's a deeper conversation here. So I apologize to both men. Not that they've seen it, not that they give a shit, but still. How disrespectful of me. Kind of went down like I thought it would go down, right? We don't need to recap the fight. It adds insult to injury that Bobby was able to submit him unconscious. I knew that was coming when he started kicking the legs. When the legs started kicking,
the brain is shutting off.
He's going to go to sleep. He's going to go to sleep, you know. Now, I guess, listen, Bobby looked slicked. Tony landed a few good shots here and there. Tony's come out. He said, listen, that eye poke. And Bobby, of course, completely disagrees. He says the fight was going one way only. Tony claims the eye poke affected the trajectory of the fight. It was a good eye poke, though.
It definitely disrupted the momentum and the tempo because it never really got back to the way that it was looking before. And I'm not saying, and maybe that wasn't the eye poke itself. Maybe Bobby was adjusting to it anyways and figuring out the range and all that stuff. So I don't know, but it's hard to say that it didn't disrupt the rhythm at the time. I've struggled with this one, Mike, because I don't know how to speak on Tony without feeling like I'm disrespecting Bobby's performance because I think it was fantastic.
Sorry. I thought you were going to say I don't know how to speak on Tony without it sounding like I'm disrespecting Tony.
Well, here's what I've come to learn, or at least come to accept. I'm just going to give my opinion, how I feel it, and try my best to keep it very impersonal and just speak to the facts.
Well, you're never going to please everybody. So as long as you're not being a total dick.
Tony's going to be mad at me no matter what for what I have to say. So I want to make sure that, you know, it's very clear how much respect I have for Tony. I've spoke on it here several times that I just love that guy. His reaction time was what stood out to me the most, especially live. I rewatched it today, and it's not as apparent on camera, but live, his reaction time, he's just not seeing him, or his body's not reacting as fast as his eyes are seeing him. His speed isn't quite there. And I think those two things are making him hesitant, which is something that Tony Ferguson has never been. You can see his brain working, and he's getting ready to go. And by the time he works himself into something or works himself into that opportunity that he just seen, it's either A, completely gone, or he's too slow to get there.
There's a couple of things to consider with that, though, because I agree with you. And I think when he went for that Imanari role, that highlighted it because it wasn't nowhere near as fast or as slick as what he would have done in the past. But I think when you're facing somebody like Bobby Green, that's accentuated because Bobby's fast and he's slick. You've also got to remember, and of course the narrative is, well, he's lost 6 in a row. He's been finished a few times, which of course isn't a good run for anybody. He's also 39 years old.
Yeah. I don't like the way he's reacting to those shots either. Like the reaction. I think that's a great point, though, that it's always going to, if you have a speed advantage at all or disadvantage at all, it's going to look way worse with a guy like Bobby Green. It's just, I think that's a great point you made, that Bobby Green is exceptionally fast in this division. So I didn't like the way that he reacted. And I said this on the post show on ESPN, and I'll say it here. I'll never be a person that's going to call for someone's retirement, but I do have a choice on whether I want to watch it again. And I'm not sure that I can, that like emotionally, I'm not sure that I can watch Tony fight like that again. Not like that. I can't see that happening again. Now, if they were to favorably match him up and say, this is Tony's last fight, we're going to give him a send-off like the one that he deserves, and I don't give a sign someone off the streets. I don't give a shit who it is, favorably match him up and at least get him in a fight that we know for a fact is going to be competitive, then I would watch it. But if it's just we're throwing him in there to build someone else, I'm not interested. Yeah,
no, for sure. But that's just the harsh reality of fight sports. You know what I mean? Yeah. That is the business we are in.
It is.
And this isn't the UFC. This is fight sports.
This is boxing. This is other organizations.
They use you, they chew you up, and they spit you out. I'm not saying that's what the UFC have done to me. They've been incredible. But generally, that's what you do. You have someone, any promoter, any boxing promotion throughout history, you have your guys. They do great things, and then they start to go off the other side. So then you use them to build up the next generation, and that's just, call it cruel, call it smart business, call it what you want. But that is the nature of this sport generally.
I was a recipient of it. I fought Rashad. I fought Shogun. I got Gustafson. You know what I mean? Like, and I'll be that guy someday, but it's hard to watch. I feel like it's gone on too long.
Listen, the problem is that Tony will be the last one to accept that. They'll be the last one to see it, because as a fighter, we always think, you always find a reason, right? So the reasons before, well, he's fighting the best guys in the world. It's your Charles Oliveira's and so it's your Michael Chandler's. Okay, now he drops down a little, down the rankings a little bit. It's a Bobby Green. Well, now I got poked in the eye, and that severely compromised my vision. And from that point, I wasn't the same. You know what I mean? So as fighters and with our egos, we will always find, rightly or wrongly, a reason to justify what happened and what went wrong. And therefore, that also justifies in your mind, while you are well within your rights to take another fight, because you feel like you can still do that. And the reason that is because when you're in the gym, you do feel like that. You do feel good. You do have good performances. You do have great sparring days. You are rolling and wrestling and having success. And you're like, I still got this, kids. But that's not when it matters. And it's not when an opponent is actually trying to put you to sleep and you're not sparring in 4-ounce gloves. The reality of the situation is a dangerous game, Don't think I'm surprising anyone when I said the best days of Tony Ferguson are behind him. At one point, he was 12-0, and now he's 0-6. So it all depends. It's easy for someone like us, right? I mean, I got tons of other shit going on outside before I stepped away. You've got a lot of things going on, and no doubt will continue to grow that side of things as well. I'm not sure what Tony has. And when you have a family, and when you're you could argue that he is further invested in the fight game than what me and you were, because there's nothing else. I don't know if he has a school or anything like that. It's like, well, if I don't do, and this used to terrify me, but it's like, if I don't do this, if I'm not fighting, And how old is he? 39 years old. What the hell am I going to do for the next 40 years if he hasn't built up enough money to get him to retirement age?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think you're 100% right. Like, and the problem is he's so popular. He's like, they were booing Bobby Green the entire arena at the weigh-ins, at the press conference, at the fight.
Hold on.
Chanting Tony's name the whole time. Do I?
No. Hold on. I'm talking, brother.
Yeah.
It's the weirdness, it's the quirkiness of the guy combined with the performances that he had.
Yeah, he's so popular. So that's the shitty part is whenever he retires, he's going to leave a lot of money on the table, and he knows it.
I'm not sure what he gets paid, but it'll be decent.
Yeah, sure.
And it is a shame as well. You know, a 12-0 run, he should have got to fight for the belt. I know he fought for the interim belt against Justin Gaethje, but hey, I mean, you know, that was just the movements of the division at the time. I think we'll see him again. I think we'll see him again, and I think Dana's not one to get involved and tell people when to retire and things like that, but he does do it sometimes, and I think they might say, all right, listen, maybe I don't know. I'm guessing maybe one more. If it doesn't go badly, then it's time to hang them up.
Right. Yeah.
No, it's bad.
But congrats to Bobby Green.
No, Bobby looked great. Bobby looked fantastic. You know, and listen, hey, to choke out Tony Ferguson, you know, because that's got nothing to do, by the way, with can he take a shot anymore? Right. That skill that did that, granted, diminished, tired, end of the third round, taking shots, right? All that stuff.
But Tony's hard to fight. You can tell in there he just makes things awkward. He's an awkward guy to fight for sure.
Should we do a little bit of non-MMA before we do Kevin Holland and Michael Chiesa? Or should we just rip right through that? We'll do that. Harrington, jump on, brother. Give me a story.
All right. Are you guys Trader Joe's fans?
The store?
Okay.
No.
Right. Hold on. What kind of person is are you a Walmart fan?
No, I'm
no, definitely not. Definitely not.
Right,
Rebecca, are you a Trader Joe's? Rebecca's beavering in the background. Rebecca, are you a Trader Joe's fan? No, but like, are you a fan of Trader Joe's? She's not. She's looking at me like she wants to kill me now.
Are you fans of stores? Is that a thing?
I'm a pretty big Trader Joe's fan. I'm not going to lie. My girlfriend and
what's so good about Trader Joe's? And for those people,
you just sit around
this is an international podcast.
You drive by and hate to not drive in. You're like, I got to stop at Trader Joe's.
Trader Joe's is just a supermarket. Okay. Right.
Mm-hmm. I like supermarkets.
What do you love about Trader Joe's, bro?
The prices are great. The selection is usually very good. Their frozen food section's incredible. It is a thing where it's like
frozen food. Stop eating the frozen foods, please. Okay. What is it? Are we doing microwave meals in the 60s here? Right? It's not good for you, bro. No. Fresh dinner, fresh food, fresh ingredients. Okay. I'm gonna start sounding like Andrew Tate, getting on my high horse and lecturing everyone while smoking a cigar.
Well, that makes sense. Choq? That makes sense that you're not a fan of it because they have had a rough couple of weeks. They had 2 recalls last week on cookies that may or may not contain rocks. That's followed up this week by another recall on falafel for potentially containing rocks. And how gross is this? A cream of cheddar soup that may or may not contain insects.
Well, first of all, cream of cheddar soup sounds disgusting. I mean, I like it. I like cheese. I'm not going to lie.
You like cream?
I like cream.
Cream of cheddar?
That sounds good, actually. I don't know why I said that. Maybe it's the rock contamination.
It could be.
Cookies with rocks in.
Hey, is anyone going to tell me what a falafel is?
It's like a Persian food, falafel. There was a video once of Bilal Muhammad and Karen Bryan. They did this thing, the falafel mafia. Falafel mafia. Yeah. Show us a falafel, Brian.
Okay. It looks like a, I don't know what that is.
It looks like a...
never knew one.
Falafels, well, don't get it from Trader Joe's because they've got rocks in. See, this is the problem when I tell Harrington to pick a story. It gives us, here's a good one for you. I said, let's use this stuff about aliens that's going on and all the rest of it.
Hell yeah.
Have you heard about the aliens?
I've definitely heard about the aliens.
Harrington, break that one down for us, please. I specifically said in the notes. Oh, Brian.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Brian's Conspiracy Corner.
So it's weird that everybody's hearing about aliens, but nobody knows about Joe Biden's kid's partner that went on the stand this morning.
I tried to find it, and there's no. I tried to look at the hearing today. Is it going on right now? Is that why it's not out yet?
It was going on earlier today. I saw some releases from it, but aliens, everybody.
Yeah. Well, number one, listen. So hold on a minute, because you bring up a good point, Brian. You bring up a very, very good point. So you're saying the whole thing is just misdirection.
I believe that's what it feels like to me.
Do you think the alien part is real though?
Probably not.
I do.
Yeah,
it would be awesome if it was. It would be awesome. I would love it.
Yeah, for sure. No, me too. I mean, there's for sure life out there. 100% there is. Let's be honest, but
there has to be.
It's
there has to be.
Statistically impossible that there's not.
Yeah, right. No, it really is.
Yeah.
But are they hovering around in these crafts and just having a little ganders? Going, we came all this way. We came thousands of light years away, but we've seen enough, and then off they pop.
I don't know.
Apparently not. Brian, can't continue. They saw some guy, was it from the CIA or something, said that they are reverse engineering a UFO craft that they found.
Bodies and all sorts of weird tech, and people have died over it, and it's very hush-hush secret.
Yeah. Joe Rogan had a guy on one time that claims to work at, or used to work when he was young, at Area 51. Bob Lazar, and his job was to reverse engineer and figure out how their crafts work. The way he explained it was really cool too. That all of our machines and crafts and vehicles here, there's a combustion or an explosion or something similar to that. Something goes out the back of the vehicle and it propels the vehicle forward like a normal vehicle, right?
Yeah.
But these like distort gravity. So like if you put a bowling ball or any ball, like a basketball in the middle of a bed, and then you push your hands down on the bed in front of it, then it pulls the ball forward. That's how he explained that these like alien crafts work, that they distort the energy in front of them. It's kind of really interesting.
Yeah, no, it is. I mean, I firmly believe there's life out there. Of course I do. I just don't know if I believe in little green men and dinosaurs. Sorry, not dinosaurs. What do you call them? Little flying saucers. Right. You know what I mean?
Oh, they're definitely out there.
We'll talk about the lizard men one day, Mike.
Oh yeah, no, we won't. No, we won't. But Brian, but that's if that's what's really happening, that they're just coming out of all these stories right now because Hunter Biden, what is he? Is he being like cross-examined or?
No, his business partner is going on the stand today.
Oh, his business partner.
Yeah. To say
that Joe Biden was involved in his business dealings.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right. They did the same thing just recently with the Ocean Gate thing, right? With the submarine.
Yep.
Was that company called Ocean Gate? I believe it was, right?
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. And I saw yesterday, look this up, Ocean Gate are now trying to send 1,000 people into space. Yeah. You see that, Harrington?
Yeah,
are you serious?
The co-founder wants to set up a colony on Venus. That's his plan.
Which, by the way, let's just throw it out there. Venus, the hottest planet in the solar system. Well, maybe Mercury's the closest, so maybe Venus is a little bit cooler, but it'll probably get a bit toasty on Venus. Just throwing it out there.
I wouldn't trust that guy to take me to Trader Joe's.
Certainly not to buy the cookies or the cream of cheddar soup. What the? How has that guy got the nerve to be talking about sending anyone anywhere? He wants to send 1,000 people to Venus to melt and just get burned to death. You know what I mean? Yeah. At least Elon Musk and people like that are talking about Mars, and they're going to do some climate manipulation and warm the atmosphere and all the rest of it and make it a little bit more habitable. But
no, that guy should shut the fuck up.
He needs to shut the fuck up and take whatever money he's got and just go live alone.
Yeah, you need to be away from people and not take. You need to take Ubers. Don't drive yourself. Don't drive anybody else. You need a car service.
Is he going to fly people to Venus with a PlayStation remote? Do you know what I mean?
I just thought about this. I called Brian on Saturday morning to. I had a conspiracy question. You know what you do? You know, we talked about this conspiracy corner. He's got like 15 of them lined up. But I had a question. I was like, "Ooh, Brian will know." So I called him. hit me with a whole conspiracy and then just sent me on my way.
All right, well, Brian, give us one that's easy to digest for somebody like me that's not big into the conspiracy thing. So you don't have to know this fact and that fact and this fact. Just give me an easy, palatable conspiracy off the top of your head.
Oh, well, this is the one that Ant asked me about. It's his
I was going to say, hit him with the crypto one.
Yeah, why all the
Hit me with your crypto stick.
So they're finding a bunch of crypto billionaires like cut up in like suitcases or just dead randomly everywhere.
Six or seven in the last 6 months.
Like, yeah, it's crazy.
Crypto millionaires and billionaires are coming up dead.
So Anthony asked me, why do I think that is the case? And I would believe that if you kill the people that if you remove access to the keys to their digital wallets, well, then that currency is now useless because nobody's going to be able to get it. So if you're trying to get rid of this decentralized currency movement, which is like, crypto coins, all this other shit, to make that happen, you have to get rid of the people who hold the bulk of the cryptocurrency. So
I mean that makes perfect sense if they're trying to do that, trying to not have a decentralized currency going forward, and it was picking up a lot of pace. You know what I mean? You could start buying houses, you could start buying cars, and I think it's all kind of fallen down. And the NFT market certainly shit the bed as well. But so a lot of them are being found. Are they legitimately being found chopped to pieces in suitcases?
Yes, they are.
Are they?
It's crazy. I'll try.
Where was the last one found? Just bring some details up. And just real quick, Harrington put in the notes here about this Ocean Gate thing. The 57-year-old Argentine-born businessman pointed to findings by NASA to say that there's a sliver of the Venusian atmosphere about 30 miles from the surface where humans could theoretically survive. Well, if we could float 30 miles above the surface of Venus, I'm pretty sure the surface of Venus is all molten lava. Again, ignore that guy. Missing crypto millionaire 41 found by children dead and dismembered in a suitcase in Argentina. Another Argentine. All right, give me another one. He's a good looking guy. Looks like who's he look like? What's he called?
I didn't look at the picture. I was trying to
put the picture back on, Bri. Got to admire this fine gentleman. No, he looks like Tom Hardy. 41, good looking, chopped to pieces.
Stuffed in a suitcase. There was found stuffed in a suitcase by a group of children playing near a stream at Buenos Aires. Well, that's too bad.
It is too bad, but
I just kept seeing I don't know. It's like I feel like once a month or a couple times a month, it's like crypto millionaire found murdered, crypto millionaire missing for 6 months. So I was like, Brian's got to know why.
It's a good theory. It is a good theory. It actually stacks up.
I'm seeing a headline here that says 4 crypto billionaires' deaths within a month gave fuel to several conspiracy theories among the crypto community. So 4 of these dudes died within a month of each other.
It's crazy.
Interesting. If you happen to be a crypto billionaire,
probably cash out if I was you.
Avoid suitcases or pack your suitcases and get the hell out of here because the CIA, who do you think's doing that, Brian? CIA?
That was my question. Who's they?
The Federal Reserve.
The Federal Reserve. Or do you think it's like the Rockefellers or I don't know, like the old school?
Oh, we got into that one too.
The cabal of American elites that have been
you're gonna lead them down this Titanic loophole.
Hey, no, but this isn't the craziest one I've heard. So this doesn't sound crazy to me at all. It does. I mean, it factually stacks up. You know what I mean? That checks out. I mean, because only the person that do you know anything about cryptocurrency? Only the person that owns the cryptocurrency. You have a bunch of safe words.
I had a little bit, yeah.
You have a bunch of safe words and all this and that and blah 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 and phrases and shit like that. And if that guy goes missing, then that currency, unless they've got a backup, unless their wife or unless it's all written down in a safe somewhere, which a lot of the time it isn't, then that is essentially wiped off the face of the earth.
Right. That's millions of dollars in crypto that's essentially deleted.
Billions, apparently.
Yeah.
Today's episode of the Believe You Me podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp. And if you're going through something right now, if you're not the best version of yourself, if you're going through mental anguish, anxiety, depression, you've got a bad temper, addiction issues, you really, really need to sign up to BetterHelp and speak to somebody, okay, about what you're going through. And with BetterHelp, you will be speaking to licensed professional therapists. We're not talking quacks, we're talking the real deal. Okay. And it is super convenient. Okay. You don't have to jump in the car. You do it all over the phone. So if you're thinking of starting therapy, number one, do it and give BetterHelp a try. As I say, it's all online. It's convenient, flexible, suited to your schedule. You just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist. You can, by the way, you can switch therapists anytime at no charge whatsoever. You just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with the best match for you, and off you pop. And let me tell you, it will help. All those issues I said before, or maybe you just want to talk to someone about, whatever the problem is, okay? Everyone's got something. If there's really something that you can identify that's holding you back, if you're drinking too much, if you've got a bad temper, if you've got depression, if you've got some kind of mental health issue, then please take advantage of this, because we got a great offer for you. Go to betterhelp.com/believe to get 10% off your first month. Let therapy be your map with BetterHelp. Go to betterhelp.com/believe to get 10% off your first month. And trust me, you will see the benefits and you will be so happy of the day that you decided to take charge of your mental health. Good luck. Anyway, should we talk about Michael Chiesa and Kevin Holland?
Yeah, poor Chiesa.
I know more about crypto dead billionaires than Michael Chiesa and Kevin Holland, though. So let's go back to that. Wasn't a good showing for Chiesa.
No.
I mean, Kevin Holland's great. You know, the first thing I want to say, and this has nothing to do with the fight, how good is Khamzat Chimaev if he did that to Kevin Holland?
Yeah.
And Chiesa, who's a good grappler, couldn't really get much going. He couldn't do shit, really. Do you know what I mean? I mean, geez, Louise. And you probably saw on DC and RC, he highlighted the threat of the Doris Choq. And of course, he's a threat because when you've got a wingspan as long as Kevin Holland, that's what you need, long arms for Doris Choq. You don't need it, but it makes it so much easier. I mean, Kevin Holland was on fire. Everything was perfect. Takedown defense was great. The knee, the sprawl, the position to go for the Doris Choq. I mean, he was on fire Saturday night, and I'm so happy for him because he's such a great guy. He's such a fun addition to the UFC roster, never in a boring fight. Mm-hmm. I think what we're seeing from Kevin Holland is kind of what I said a little bit before about Justin Gaethje, and I didn't mean that as an insult. We're seeing a maturity that you have to make some changes if you're going to actualize your potential. And Kevin Holland has all the potential under the sun. And when he was at 185, he went on that historic run. I think it was 5 wins in 1 year, knocked out Jacare from his back. You would see him always talking shit, you know what I mean, having a laugh, and sometimes prioritizing being entertaining from that perspective over being entertaining in terms of the performances. I'm sure he always worked his ass off as well. But now I think we're seeing him dial in a little bit. I mean, he was still chirping a little bit, but he talks about bringing in wrestling coaches and all this type of thing. I mean, I thought he looked fantastic. I thought that was a hell of a performance.
Yeah, I thought he looked great. His speed, his accuracy, his timing. I think you really hit the nail on the head, though. It's just he seems more mature. He seemed very focused. Sometimes he's in there playing around a little bit. You know, he's got this big smile on his face. He's very lackadaisical. He was dialed in. Saturday night, he was dialed in, and Chiesa's never been a super comfortable guy on his feet. He looked surprisingly uncomfortable on Saturday. He didn't. I don't know. He seemed a little bit deer in headlights. You know,
Sean Strickland came out and said, does Chiesa famously not spar? Because I wasn't aware of that fact, but Strickland came out and said, hey, look, that's why you need to spar, because you look like that if you don't.
Mm-hmm. He looked gun shy. He looked gun shy. He wasn't comfortable. Which makes your if you're not comfortable enough on your feet to start setting up your takedowns, you get them thinking high, you shoot low, you know. To Kevin Holland's credit, Chiesa was in deep on a couple really good takedowns, and Kevin did a really good job. And that goes to the maturity. A lot of times Kevin will just concede the takedown because he's so comfortable off of his back. His jiu-jitsu's so good. He's long. He's dangerous from there. He doesn't really seem to give a shit whether he's taken down or not. But he was not giving up a takedown. He didn't concede anything.
Yeah, so now it's 3 in a row, sadly, for Chiesa, Kevin Holland, Sean Brady, and another Doris to Vicente Luque. Was it Kevin Holland that said he thinks Chiesa should retire and focus on commentating?
Yeah.
Which is, I mean, that's harsh of Kevin to say that. Yeah. It's surprising, though. It's surprising because generally, if you beat an opponent at the press conference, I mean, we saw Bobby Green do the exact opposite, right? Because it diminishes your win. If because Bobby Green said, no, I think Tony Ferguson still got it. I think he can still go on and have a great career, because
you say the guy you just beat sucks.
Yeah, if you say the guy that you just beat sucks and needs to focus on commentating, it's like, it doesn't make you look very good either. Say, I beat a can, you know? Yeah, he's shit. He should not be fighting. He should be commentating. Number one, you're not taking my job, Michael Chiesa. And
if anybody's next in line, it's me.
Yeah, you guys fight it out amongst yourselves. Okay, I'll be in Nashville preparing and researching with Dominic Cruz.
I'll be there too.
Are you going to be in Nashville?
I am. It's my last one before my fight. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
I got a teammate. I got Dustin Jacoby on the card, and then so I got a bunch of teammates, and Mark is going to be there. So it's like I might as well work it. Coaches are going to be there anyway, so I might as well just go train, work the event. Yeah.
Oh, sweet. Are we saying that we're going to do Thursday's podcast together in person?
We should.
We should.
We absolutely should.
We are doing it. How about that?
Hell yeah.
Hell yes. We will discuss with Brian and figure out the necessary equipment that we need to have. I want to know this. I'm going off on a tangent here. We'll go back to Chiesa and Holland in a second. Nashville. I put a tweet out this morning. I'm getting abuse. I said, where's the best fried chicken? I have this obsession right now with fried chicken. I love it. I love a fried chicken sandwich. There's a place by our house called Clyde's. I crave it. I'm starving. I want fried chicken tonight. I could live on fried chicken sandwiches. And the Clyde's, this like mini chain by our house, and shout out Clyde's. If you're in Orange County, you got to go there. It's ridiculous. I went in, and the guy's a big UFC fan, so we got talking and all the rest of it. He went down to Nashville to learn how to make it. He said Nashville is the spot for fried chicken.
Okay.
Are you familiar with a good fried chicken spot in Nashville?
I'm not at all. Why are you getting abused for asking that, though?
Oh, well, people just like, go to KFC. Just shit like that. People just giving me stupid joke answers. You know
yeah.
Making fun of me. Like, Michael, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Who cares? Talk about fights. I'm like, well, I want a fried chicken sandwich.
Yeah.
You're like Popeyes.
You're like, I want to fight obesity right now over this fried chicken sandwich.
We're going out for fried chicken sandwiches. We're having them on the podcast, and we're going to do a breakdown.
That's
too tangy.
Hell yeah.
A little spicy for me, this one.
Yeah.
So you're going to be there. Anyway, right. Chiesa, Kevin Holland. What's next for Kevin Holland?
I don't know. He's talking about going to 185, which sounds crazy. Because he looks so damn good at 170. So
yeah,
I hope he stays at 170. And I get it. It's a lifestyle change. You got to live and act and eat a certain way to maintain that weight. I get it. But I think he's going to be much more successful at 170.
Yeah, but, and I agree, but as a big fella, we don't know how hard those weight cuts to 170 are. I will say this. Who did he fight? He fought in Tampa the end of 2021 or 2, because I was there. I was commentating, and he was doing his weight cut for the Embedded crew, and he didn't give a shit. He seemed very happy. But if the weight cuts are hard, he did do very well at 185. Granted, he lost a few towards the end and was, as we said, kind of messing around a little bit, but he did beat Jacare Souza towards the end of his run. Let's just have a look here. He beat Hernandez, Joaquin Buckley, Darren Stewart, Charlie Ontiveros, then Jacare. Then he lost to Marvin, Derek Brunson, and then went down to 170, I think it was. Lost to Kyle Dawkins as well.
And
then went down to 170. So it's not like he can't compete there.
Yeah, maybe, and maybe that maturity and that just that change he's had mentally anyways, maybe that will translate at 185 as well. Who knows?
So there it is.
Either way, he's must-see TV.
No, he is. I love Kevin Holland. He's brilliant. He's brilliant. That was a roundup of the main card, and it was a good one. On the prelims, what stood out on the prelims? Let's have a quick look. I mean, Gabriel Bonfim, those two brothers, Israel Bonfim, Gabriel Bonfim, keep an eye out for those names. They're going to do big, big things. Gabriel Bonfim went out there Saturday night against Trevin Giles, got the job done, guillotine, 1 minute 13. Oh, here we go.
Yeah, I mean, other than this, there's not a lot. Bam, right there.
Boom, there it is. Not a lot to it. Simple stuff. Jake Matthews looked brilliant.
Yeah.
Roman Kopylov, keep an eye on that name as well.
Yeah, that was a nasty head kick too. I don't know what it is with Salt Lake City and head kicks, because there's been a lot of them.
We see a lot of head kicks. All right, so there's a lot of other stuff to talk about, though, in the world of mixed martial arts. We did miss a couple of shows, so we apologize, but we need to get into some of it. And I think the biggest one is last week. Was it last week? No, yeah, it's pretty much last week. The week before Saturday, we were in London. Tom Aspinall made his return against Marcin Tybura, pardon me. Yeah. Smoked him. Made it look easy. Just went right through him. Before he did so, though, I thought he looked like Muhammad Ali. You know, he was so light on the feet, bouncing around, the strike accuracy, the speed, the power of the shots. It was unbelievable. And then you combine the fact that he was teaching grown men jiu-jitsu at 16 years old. Yeah. He can wrestle really, really well. He's a natural guy at that size. And I came out and I said, I'll tell you what, I'm not sure if Jon Jones at heavyweight could hold a candle to this guy. I'm getting a fair bit of shit online, you know, and I was hyping up Tom and maybe a little bit of recency bias, and I hope the fight happens. But what do you make of that comment, and what did you make of Tom's performance?
Well, I'm not surprised by the comment for the reasons you stated. You just watched it. It's fantastic. You're trying to big up Tom, not just because you like Tom, but because that's your job as a UFC employee is to point out the positives in these athletes. I don't know that I can disagree. I did when I did the show Monday. I said, I don't know if I would say wouldn't hold a candle, because I don't know that I'd say that about Jon Jones.
Well, who'd hold a candle anyway? I mean, if anyone walks into an octagon and holds a candle, do you know what I mean? I guess
you are correct. He wouldn't hold a candle to him.
Yeah. Listen, I said he's not going to walk in and hold a candle to Jon Jones.
That feels crazy to say about anybody. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No,
whether
I know.
Him or even, I don't know. I don't know if there's a person that I would feel like that about, but we don't actually know what John's going to look like at heavyweight. So you might be right.
I'm Googling the expression of couldn't hold a candle while you talk, but continue.
Yeah, you might be right, Mike. Like, maybe Jon is a completely different guy at heavyweight, and these athletic, large, natural heavyweights that are used to weighing what they weigh and competing like that for a long time, maybe they won't. But I think the one, I don't want him to get pushed, if that makes any sense. Like, I'd like to see him fight a couple more times, because from being honest, I do see a few things that would make me nervous with a guy like, I don't know, Gone, if you don't get a takedown early. A guy like Jon, maybe not so much a guy like Jon, but like a guy like Stipe. You know, he does tend to get into firefights with his chin a little bit up in the air, and maybe that's because he just doesn't respect Tybura and his power and his striking. But there's a few things that I could have picked out a little bit.
Well, I thought it was a pretty much flawless performance.
It turned out to be, but I guess I'm seeing opportunities where more elite guys may have taken advantage of him.
It's funny because Tom used to say he didn't want to rush things. You know, but now he's like, now he's calling for it, because I think he knows if there is going to be an opportunity to fight Jon Jones, which, you know, as a heavyweight or even as a light heavyweight, you know, it's like when I wanted to fight Anderson Silva. It's one of those names you would love to have on your resume and just to share the octagon, which of course you have done. And I think when I was saying that, a lot of that was based upon the fact of, you know, if you look at the last few fights at light heavyweight, you know, and people, I know the expression, people say, well, he fights down to the level of the competition, which I have trouble accepting that. Yeah. And of course, against Cyril Gane, he did fantastic. It was a tailor-made matchup, though. I just think it'd give him real issues. And just to let you know this.
I agree.
The expression, couldn't hold a candle. Do you want to know where it comes from?
Yeah, tell me.
What is the origin of the phrase couldn't hold a candle? Apprentices used to be expected to hold the candle so that more experienced workmen were able to see what they were doing. Someone unable to do the job would be the one to hold the candle. So he couldn't hold the candle. He couldn't hold it. He couldn't even hold the candle for that guy.
Right. I like that. But you know what else I did say about Tom that I just remembered? That I compared him to a more diverse, younger, I don't want to say better, but I guess that's kind of what I'm getting at, like a better version of Stipe. So I've been telling anybody that'll listen that I think that Stipe is going to give Jon some real serious problems, and it's going to be a different fight, in my opinion, than I think some people are expecting. And I said I think that Tom is a younger, better grappling version of Stipe. I think that he's a much better jiu-jitsu guy. I think that their wrestling is fairly comparable. I think that Tom's a more diverse striker because he will kick. Stipe doesn't kick too much. Boxing is very similar. Like I think that's pretty a pretty. I don't know. I think it's high praise, to be compared to the
it is
heavyweight of all time.
And I think it's a very fair comparison as well.
Yeah.
I really do. Yeah, of course. So anyway, regardless, did you see? I think I saw today some rumors that Jones is saying he's going to retire. Did you see that, Harrington?
I didn't see that.
Can you Google that? You know what these bloody clickbait articles are like, though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You never know what you're looking at. Yeah.
But the Daily Mirror, in hell, and I know the stories as well. Do you know what I mean? But they do such a good job with their titles. I think,
you gotta click it.
Let me click this, and I click it, and I'm like, you bastards. So maybe it was one of them. Harrington, come on and give us the lowdown. I read this at the time. I saw the interview. It was on Submission Radio. Number 2, Colby Covington saying he wants the co-main event spot against another standout Brit, of course, the standout Brit, Leon Edwards, at Madison Square Garden. He was talking shit about Jon Jones. So you see the segue there. Harrington looks like he's coming from the 80s.
Yeah.
Harrington's about to be abducted by aliens
and taken to Venus.
Yeah, well, he's certainly not going to get chopped up and put in a suitcase. He ain't no crypto billionaire, that's for sure.
Dude, I'm telling you, Dogecoin is going to pop. It's going to pop.
Harrington, show me your hands. No? In a bit? I want to see your wrist. Oh, I thought you got an elastic band around your wrist.
Yeah.
I thought you had on like latex gloves, like you were pretending to be a corner man. I was like, what are you doing? Why have you got latex gloves on?
Well, I saw the Cutman Tate podcast, and I just wanted to live up to him.
He's like, bro, I just took my hands out of Lewis's ass.
I got
you know what I mean? You got to keep it clean.
You brought up Cutman Tate. I got a story for you guys from the weekend.
Go ahead.
It's a funny one. You know Tate. He's a nice guy, talks to everybody.
Brilliant.
We're supposed to go to lunch, right? We're going to go to the ceremonial weigh-ins. I'm going to meet him there. From there, we're going to go to lunch. He wants to go to this restaurant where I actually did all the pre-shows from, called Flankers. I was like, well, there's going to be a lot of fans there because there's a fan event and it's right by the weigh-ins. And, like, if that's what you want to do, fine. So he starts complaining and bitching, like, oh, we always got to do what you want to do. I'm like, fine, fuck it. We'll go.
Hold on a minute, though. But Cutman Tate that would be a pain in the ass for you. Right, but Tate's the cut man, so he wants to take pictures. He wants to do that because he hasn't got to the point yet where it's a fucking pain in the ass and you want to eat your food. Not that, food. By the way. Thank you for the support, everyone.
For sure,
but,
I took every single picture. I'm appreciative of all the support. Every once in a while, I just want to sit down and have a quiet meal. But anyways, so when he comes up to me at the weigh-ins, we're having this argument. I realize he's got 2 people with him, and I just thought they were his friends, like, oh, whatever, they're with Tate. He's like, all right, so we leave, we walk, we get into the restaurant. While we're walking there, he's trying to find out. He always wonders something about the place that he's in. So he wants to find out about Mormon people and if the Mormon women wear funny underwear. So he's got this thing in his head where he thinks they wear funny underwear. So he's asking every single person.
Meaning like big, flannelly. I don't know. Unsexy underwear.
I think so. He thinks they wear special underwear because of their religion. So, but he has to know. There's no way to find this out on Google. The internet doesn't work in Salt Lake City for Tate. He's got to ask every single person he meets on the street if they wear funny underwear. So
just throwing it out there, that could be deemed some kind of like inappropriate questioning from a very, very large, intimidating looking man.
Agreed. And now he's drawing all this attention because everyone's leaving the weigh-ins. So they're answering his question and then realizing who we are. So we're walking and I say, "Oh, hey, you didn't introduce me to your friends. Let me meet him." He was like, "Oh, I don't know them." I'm like, "What are you talking about? They came with you." And he was like, "Yeah, this mom had a bunch of kids on the plane, and so they asked if I would switch seats so that she could sit by her kids, and I sat by them on the plane." I was like, "And then what?" He was like, "Well, I just told him I'd bring him to the weigh-ins," and then so they turned out to be a really, really nice couple. They were like 21, high school sweethearts, like really, really sweet couple, and we had a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun with them.
That's beautiful. That's great.
He just brought them along.
That's great. That's great. Listen. But now I got to know whether or not Mormons wear special underwear.
They do.
That's beautiful that he did that for them, and that's great. Well done. Shout out.
They were with us all night.
Can we go back to the underwear of the Mormons? Okay, because this is important.
They do apparently.
Right.
I don't know if Brian can look it up really quick if we got time for that, but they do. Mormon underwear, formerly known as temple garments, is a type of undergarment worn by Mormons. So yeah, they do.
Temple garment.
There you go.
Look at
temple
that.
Garments.
Look at the guy. Look at that dude. Oh man. Jeez Louise. Straight out the 50s.
Oh,
my
shit.
God.
Sorry, I interrupted with another
No. That was important. Harrington, give us a lowdown on Colby Covington, because you know what Colby's like. He talks shit like no one else on the roster. He was having a good go at Jon Jones.
Yes, he was. Let me bring up the exact quote here. Wait, sorry.
Right, forget it. I'll do it. He said they can't depend. It's in the email, Harrington.
I know.
You sent it to me.
Yeah.
There's actually, if you really did it, you would have had the video of it. Would have been more media integration.
Ooh, he did it on video.
He did it on video. He said, they can't depend on Jon Jones. You know that better than anyone. He's unreliable. He's unprofessional. He could get popped for steroids. He could do a glass of tequila and some booger sugar up his nose, and he might be beating his wife and in jail again. So who better than to give an insurance policy than Colby Chaos Covington, the guy that just so happens to occupy the 4th highest gate in arena history at Madison Square Garden. I think that's where it's going to end up playing at. I just don't see it being pushed back past December in Vegas. I think Edwards is going to get stripped if it goes anything beyond that. So, Colby Covington talking shit like always, but it's entertaining, it's fun, and I guarantee that fight does go down at Madison Square Garden. And what a fight card that would be. Jones versus Stipe, could say the greatest heavyweight fight of all time, right?
Yeah.
Might be the last time we get to see both of them fight. That's obviously going to push pay-per-views. Colby's a massive draw. Him and Leon, co-main event. Mm-hmm. That'll do ridiculous pay-per-view buys. Leon Edwards makes shit tons of dough.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's a good situation for Leon.
We do a live BYM in New York City.
Oh, the pets' heads are falling off. You know what I mean?
Let's go.
And we are
Harrington,
doing that.
Do we have it set up yet? Or is Harrington dropping the ball?
No, I have a bunch of venues that are fighting over us. So I will talk to you about them right after the show, Mike. That works for you.
Sounds very good. Sounds very good. Colby Covington talking all that crap. Hey, do you know what? Like, because he does. Like, Colby goes after Jones, and he says some really nasty stuff. Did you see the submission? I think Submission Radio. Did you see that interview? Or the clip?
No, I haven't watched it yet.
He is bringing up, listen, we don't need to go through all the things that Jon Jones has been, not accused of, but he's done throughout the years. They're not good, right? They're not good. Mm-hmm. It's downright shameful behavior. Jones knows that. He's apologized a million times, whatever. You know what I mean? He still continues to make mistakes, whatever. No one's condoning that. But Colby just continues to bring up that stuff. He was talking about how much cocaine or alcohol were you on when you hit that pregnant girl, and this, that, and listen, these things happened. These things happened. Okay, where I'm going to is like Jon Jones wouldn't murder Colby Covington.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
So you put them on the same card. That's going to be a security risk. Well,
that is going to be a security risk, but like. I'm just saying, like it's like Mike Tyson says. Social media got people way too comfortable with talking shit that you wouldn't say it to his face. Because I don't think Colby would say that. I mean, maybe he would.
That's coming from a guy who's been slapped for shit that he said in person, like said online and got slapped in person over it.
Yeah.
He's got no fucking shame. I'll give him that.
Yeah. And listen, I like Colby and I love the character that he plays. You know, he plays that so bloody well. So well. I'm just saying, you might be playing with fire on that one a little bit there, buddy.
Yeah, because if Jon loses his shit, it's going to be bad news. Because there's nothing Colby could do about it. He just got to take it.
Do about it. But it's like, you know, because he was talking about all sorts of stuff, you know, with his wife and the kids and what happened in Vegas after the Hall of Fame and all that type of stuff. I'm just saying, like, you know what I mean? Listen, it's bad. It's bad. We all know it, but I don't even want to say what it was because it's painful. You know what I mean?
I don't ever talk about it because it's not fair to Jon's wife and kids.
Yeah, but there's that side of it as well. There's that side of the coin.
That's why I don't ever bring it up. It's like she wants to talk about it. That's on her.
Yeah. But hey, fair play, Leon and Colby. It'll have to happen by then. It's got to happen.
Yeah, because we're kind of just holding up at this point. It's got to. I mean, you got to get that thing moving.
All right, let's take a second to shout out our old friend that is back with BYM. We are talking about Choq. CHOQ.com. Listen, we love natural supplements here, believe you me, and that is what Choq offer. They are the only natural supplements worthy of the believe you me stamp of approval. Now listen, sometimes guys that eat well, train hard, they're in good shape, and they don't feel the need for supplements. Well, the thing is, you got to take every advantage that you can get. Men's testosterone levels are at an all-time low. Not a day goes by that I don't see someone in the gym that's had a bad diet earlier on in life or low levels of testosterone naturally that could do with a boost. Well, Choq has created a new natural testosterone booster that is taking the sports nutrition and natural health world by storm, and I prefer Choq for several reasons. Listen, supplement industry, there's a lot of crap, a lot of nonsense, a lot of dirty supplements. Not with Choq. They stand above the rest in clean, pure, and healthy products. Choq uses full disclosure labeling. They tell you exactly what goes into each of their products and exactly how much. And there's no label fluffing, no underdosing. All ingredients are measured to exact clinical research. Listen, testosterone, give it a natural boost. There's no shame in admitting that. As you're getting older, if you're in your late 30s, if you're in your 40s, certainly in your 50s, you want to give it a boost, okay? Choq is the way to do that, okay? Also, by the way, they got the Male Vitality Stack and the Stack Ultra. Check those out. Choq Daily is the cleanest research-based testosterone booster available on the market today. So go to choq.com, CHOQ.com. Use the code Bisping. You're going to get 35% off your order. Get a natural testosterone booster. More importantly, one that works, where you will see the results. Choq.com, promo code Bisping, 35% off. They're also saying, did I see somewhere Conor McGregor apparently is going to be fighting before the end of the year on the final pay-per-view of the year? Makes sense.
Is he in the pool?
He said, hello, Yasada.
Oh, well, that's nice. I didn't even see that. I missed that.
On Twitter, YSADA. I don't know. Maybe he's having a carne asada and spelt it wrong. I don't know. You never know. You never know.
Maybe he'll come on and do an interview with us.
Who, Conor?
Yeah.
Are you out of your goddamn mind?
Why not?
I'm not. I wouldn't ask him, and he wouldn't come on anyway. Right, we've probably
it'd be a great interview. I bet in a interview form, like where we're face to face, sort of having a conversation. I bet the three of us wouldn't get along so bad.
No. I don't doubt that for one split second, but
you just don't think? Okay,
right. I just don't want to.
Oh, that's all you had to say.
He just talks shit all the time. I'm not gonna go. Do you want to come on here? Because listen, I'm a man's man. I'm a real man. I got shit to say, bro. No, I'm joking. Let's have a look. We probably got weeks and weeks and weeks, or I hope, of questions to answer.
Yeah.
We're going to be back on Thursday. We've got a lot of news stories that we didn't get to, of course. Here's a big one from Brendan, from Harrington. Didn't say to put this one in the notes. Brendan Schaub claims that he spoke to Demetrius Johnson about a spar with a bodybuilder.
Is this that stupid nerd that tries to pick a fight with everybody?
Yes, yeah. Harrington, stop. We're not talking about it.
I agree.
So don't talk about it.
I sent revised notes that had better stories than that.
Just because Brendan Schaub says that he spoke to a bodybuilder or Demetrius Johnson doesn't mean we want to talk about it, but we do want to answer your questions, and you can have them answered if you send them into bympod@gmail.com.
And if you're listening on iTunes, Spotify, wherever you find podcasts, make sure you subscribe. Leave us a 5-star rating, positive review. It really helps us out on those platforms. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you subscribe to the channel and you hit that notification bell to find out whenever a new episode drops. And if you want to catch over 400 episodes you can't find anywhere else, completely ad-free and totally uncensored, head to gasdigital.com and use the promo code BYM30 for a 30-day free trial. Check out our great new app.
Take it easy, Harrington.
There we go.
Take it easy.
So our first question today is from Mark and Tommy.
Mark and Tommy.
Hi lads, me and Tommy got a question for you. How do you check leg kicks? I know, Anthony, you're working on this at the moment. I can never really get it when I'm watching the programs. And can you guys just explain it a little bit? Cheers. Love the podcast.
I love the dog. That's a beautiful looking dog. That was like a golden retriever, but the face was a bit long. I don't think a retriever.
It's mostly why I played the question.
Yeah, I was going to say, because it's not the best question. I was actually thinking to myself, we're going to have a word with Brad. How do you check leg kicks? First of all, you go to a Muay Thai gym and you fucking pay some money and they'll teach you, okay? Or you go on YouTube.
Don't we all fucking know I don't know?
Yeah, exactly.
I knew I would fucking do it.
That was an assault on you, Anthony. He's taking the piss. He's having a go.
He's having a go at me for sure. I don't have a beautiful dog. I appreciate the question, but you're asking the wrong guy.
Well, a traditional leg kick, I'll give you a little. I'm going to lower my stance. As the kick comes in, you turn it out, and then you touch the elbow. The reason you touch the elbow, because then from foot to face, you have a shield. And if it's on the inside, you go pata to the other one. Pata, this one. Pata, the other one. Calf kick. Pata, right? It's easy. There it is. You just go pata.
I can check regular leg kicks. It's the calf kicks. I can check regular leg kicks. It's the calf kicks that I have a problem with. I've never had any real issue with upper kicks to the thigh. I've never had any issue there. It's the calf. You
just turn your knee out and you want to block it with your knee or the heavier part of your thigh, shin at the top. Pretty easy. Yeah, I've never had to block a calf kick though. They weren't a thing. I feel very old saying that, but
it's a motherfucker.
I'm glad.
I'm just gonna go ahead and say it because I think I put enough work in. I think I got it figured out.
Ryan Spann heard it here first. All that work you're doing on calf kicks, bro.
Fucking dare you.
I'm telling him.
I'll tell him. I want him to know.
The joy on your face when you talk about never having to take a calf kick is like pure.
Oh, listen. If someone kicked me in the UFC's, a UFC level fighter, calf kicked me, I would probably, because my calves aren't conditioned to getting kicked.
Mine either.
You know what I'm clearly.
There is no conditioning that exists.
Yeah. Brian,
no man alive.
No man alive's gonna kick my fucking shin.
All right, so you weren't here for his triumphant return, but we have another question here from Roland Vixa.
Oh, we got no sound, bro.
Guten Tag.
Yes, we do.
Antonio, Löwenherz, Schmid und Michael, der Graf, Bisping. This is Roland Vixa from Germany. My question, what's the most female thing about you? Oh, almost forgot. Michael. Shame! On last Thursday's episode, I made my critically acclaimed return to BYM with a huge announcement, and you went there. Shame.
Wow. He needs locking up. He needs help. That
Is
is for
Roland
damn.
really from Germany?
No.
There's no way.
No, he's not.
He's from Connecticut. He's got.
Yeah, no, he's just he's a weird guy.
I love Roland.
That would be.
You did miss his return though.
Oh well, and what did he say?
New hair.
That's it.
New hair, Roland. Well, I hope he's well. Good to hear from you, brother. Anthony, what is the most feminine thing about you? And in this modern day and age, I mean, how dare you ask such a question, right? We are all human beings. We don't identify as male or female. You know, that is just so 2010.
That is.
But what is the most bitch ass thing about you, Anthony?
I got a lot of bitch assness. If
Tell
I'm
me
being
about
honest,
I wanted to tell you. I'm like, there's a lot.
There's a lot. Like I wear women's deodorant. I get lots of pedicures. I got a shoe fetish. I have lots of Louis Vuitton bags because I'm a chick.
I've never had a pedicure in my life.
I get like one a week.
Really? I love a good foot massage.
Yeah, I love it.
I love a good foot massage, but I've never had a pedicure.
Yeah, it's a long list, to be honest with you. I do a lot of I was raised by all women. Like from the time I was a kid, you know, other than my grandpa, when he passed away, it was just all women. So
yeah, women's deodorant. I mean, sometimes I've been known to have a borrow of Rebecca's.
yeah.
Sometimes
I think it's better.
Out.
It smells better. It works better. I like it.
What else did you say? So we got the pedicures. We got the women's deodorant. What else?
I wear crossbody bags.
You got to stop doing that.
Yeah, I wear crossbody bags for sure.
Crossbody bags. Okay. Yeah. And what else?
I can't really say this. Yeah, I'm a little.
Yeah,
bit.
but that's not being a feminine thing. That's just being a douchebag.
It's being a douchebag.
Rebecca, what's the most feminine thing about me?
You love a good bath.
I love a good bath, she says.
Oh, that I say I'm not a big bath guy.
But hold on. By the way, she's over there. She's beavering away at the other computer, and she's
just going off.
she's like, oh, I'm dying to say these, right? I always tell her she thinks it's so feminine to have a bath. I'm like, when you have had the shit kicked out of you in a training camp, right, and your body is killing, it feels nice to soak in a hot tub. I've seen many cowboy movies where the cowboy walks in to the whorehouse, okay, before slaying these girls, lies there in the tin bath. Does that make him a woman?
A little bit.
What else makes me feminine? Quick.
Your skincare regime.
My skincare regime. I don't use an eye cream.
Yes, you do.
No, I have an eye cream. I don't use it. I use Kiehl's face cream. One application before bed, one application after a shower. That's it. What else?
Your hair. You're very particular about your hair.
I wear a little hair product, yes. She's like, your hair? This could go on all day. This could go on all day.
If I asked my wife, we could go on all day.
Fucking hell. Right, okay. We got one more, Brian.
We do. This one is from Jonathan Baldwin, and he works over at Thorn.
Hey, what's going on, boys? This is Jonathan from Charleston, South Carolina. Just got back in my car after a good day's work, working at Thorn Health Tech, you know, the official vitamin supplement partner of the UFC, the best in the business.
Well,
maybe a little biased when I say that, but they pay me. So we're talking about unpopular opinions today at work. And mine personally at the moment would be just fuck Taylor Swift and her toxic fans. I just feel like she's the most mid artist there is. Mid songs, mid beats, mid everything. That's just me personally, but I'd love to know y'all's most unpopular opinions. Let's hear all four of them. Mike, Anthony, Harrington, Brian, you know. Also want to give a big shout out to my boy Seth. He's the one that got me listening. Been listening to it for y'all for about 1.5 years now. Don't miss an episode. Huge UFC fans. So if y'all give my boy Seth a shout out, I know he's listening. But also, good luck, Anthony, pulling for you. I know you can beat Span's ass just like you beat beat him last time. Let's try to beat that record. What was it, 2 minutes? Let's go sub 2 minutes. Let's see if you can make that happen. But good luck, boys. Appreciate it. Always listening.
Jeez Louise, he's going on and on and on. First of all, he's dropping a little supplement sponsorship in there. Then he's asking us to turn into Cameo and give shouts out for all his friends. he's ordering you how you need to beat Ryan Spann, putting you under immense amounts of pressure, I might ask.
Lots of pressure.
A lot of pressure.
Sub 2 minutes for a top 10 guy in the world, stuff to do.
Don't do it. Don't try and do that. What will be?
I'm going 230 just to prove a point. You can't tell me what to do.
235, bro. 235. Right. That's the magic number. I don't know what my most unpopular opinion is.
I bet Harrington and Brian have one right off the top of their head.
Let's have a 4-shot right here. And Rebecca, I'll just throw it out. The question was, what is our most unpopular opinion? Give it some thought.
I know what my most unpopular opinion is. I think Radiohead is the worst band ever.
Ooh.
And I know a lot of people disagree with me.
I don't know too much about Radiohead. I know they did Creep and a couple of other good songs, but I'm not, I don't, you know.
Yeah, I'm not a big Radiohead fan.
I mean, Harrington's got a lot of unpopular opinions.
Every opinion he has is unpopular with me.
Jeez Louise. I mean, you know what I mean? I tell you, Harrington's most unpopular opinion is putting the shit that he puts in the notes that he thought was a good idea. Oh. That's an unpopular opinion.
We didn't even get to the Paul Craig thing.
Paul Craig.
I mean, I would say just a recent one. I think the latest Flash movie was incredible, and people hate that movie.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I didn't see that movie either. No surprise.
I cried 3 times. That's my most feminine thing.
Did you really cry?
I cried, yeah.
I cry at films a lot, but what's my most unpopular opinion?
I'm trying to think about it.
I'll tell you what used to be one of them. That Darren Till will be a champion one day. I used to get so much shit for that. I'll tell you what, when you look at what Dricus du Plessis did against Robert Whittaker, that fight against Dricus doesn't age too badly.
No, it doesn't.
And Whittaker could be a champion. That's right. And Darren Till could be a champion one day.
I got a lot of unpopular MMA opinions for sure. I think obviously, clearly the most unpopular MMA opinion I've ever had is that if you separated John's individual skill sets, not one of them is elite. I was real unpopular. I got roasted for that one.
You still get shit for that.
I still get shit for that. Yeah. And I said when you put them all together, it's he's great. He's the best ever. But individually,
I think there's 37 genders.
Depends on who you're asking.
Popular opinion.
Exactly. It's popular. It's unpopular.
Ooh.
It's divisive. Explosive.
I've been a Colby Covington fan for a long time.
My wife hates when I say that children are born liars, which is my opinion.
Children are born liars.
All children.
You might.
They
are.
They are.
They will just come out with whatever it takes to get out of trouble or whatever.
I will ask my baby's not even 2 years old. And if she takes something, like if she grabs a piece of chocolate and eats it, she will have chocolate all over her face, pieces of it stuck between her fingers. And I'll say, "Did you eat my piece of chocolate?" And she'll say, lie.
Yeah.
Right. She's not even 2.
No.
She'll lie right to my face.
Now, I'll say this though. Children learn behavior. So that's right. They are lying. Clearly, chocolate all over the face, saying I didn't eat chocolate. You got a lying bitch on your hand there, Anthony Smith. But where she learned this? Are you telling the lies?
That's where the name
Smith.
I don't know.
That's where Lionheart comes from.
No, I think they're born liars. I think they're just born like that. I think people's instincts to not get in trouble is to lie.
Defense mechanisms built in throughout millions of years of evolution.
But nobody wants to call babies liars.
We'll do it.
Yeah. Fuck them kids.
Babies. Fuck kids. Not the future. The line shits. We're going to be back with another show on Thursday talking about all the fights in Nashville.
In person.
We'll have a great guest lined up in person with Hot Chicken. And we're going to be talking about Jake Paul and Nate Diaz, which goes down this weekend as well. But there's real fights in Nashville. We'll be talking now. Until then, take care. Goodbye.